Hey guys, it is Anime Ultimates here, and I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Couple quick announcements before we start. One, go sub to What If Night 310. He does what ifs. You can find his channel under friends channels on my channel. And two, sorry for posting this video late. I have been busy these last 2 weeks, but yeah. So without further ado, let's roll the intro. 3 years later, Naruto walked into the village alongside Jiraiya. He hadn't been here in 3 years. Hasn't changed much, Naruto thought. Naruto walked around a corner and heard familiar voices. He's supposed to be back soon, one of the voices said. Naruto located the sounds from a trio of people walking down the street toward the dango shop. Hey Hinata, hey Shino, hey Kiba, Naruto said, walking up to Hinata, Kiba, and Shino. Hinata turned around and gave Naruto a bear hug. Oh, hey Naruto, Kiba said, taking in Naruto's longer hair that made him look exactly like the fourth. While Naruto had been gone, Tsunade had revealed that Naruto was the fourth son to the rest of the village. The result was mixed reactions, from shame that they had hunted and tortured their hero son, to pride that they'd been nice to Naruto even when they didn't know who his father was. When Hiashi had found out, he hadn't shown much outward emotion, but in his head he was thinking, so this is what happens when I allow Hinata to be herself. She goes and gets engaged to the fourth son. On top of that, she lost all her confidence problems, which means, no, she's much more effective then. I wonder what would happen if I try this with Hinabi. In addition to this, Konoha had set up Naruto's apartment as a trap for assassins from Iwa. They'd caught dozens of them. This had an unintended but still welcome effect. Spies from all the countries were withdrawn from Konoha in fear of being caught and interrogated. Ibiki had learned quite a lot from the Iwa assassins. Kiba was slightly excited to see Naruto after 3 years. How did you know that was Shino, he asked. Because he's a friend and a comrade, Naruto replied, as if it was the easiest thing in the world. See what I mean? Shino said in a monotone. Kiba grunted and kept on walking. Anyway, Naruto, we're going to the dango place. Would you like to come with us? All the Konoha 12 are meeting up there, Hinata said after releasing Naruto from the bear hug. Sure, Naruto said. 2 weeks later, Hokage's office. Naruto had caught up with all the people of Konoha 12 and went to Tsunade to report. Naruto had then been promoted to Jonin. Also, Orochimaru and Kabuto's bodies were found. The Leaf had dispatched a team led by Sasuke and Shikamaru to Orochimaru's smaller bases to destroy them. Himself, Sasuke, and Neji were all Jonin, while the rest of the Konoha 12 were Chunin, and had gone on several missions. One day while training, Naruto felt a distress call from the kunai he had given Gaara. He then rushed and gathered all of the 12 and went to Tsunade's office to tell her where they were going. Naruto then teleported everyone to Suna, while they arrived pretty early in the fight. Naruto then told the rest of the Konoha 12 to get the civilians to safety while he helped Gaara. Naruto then stayed and helped fight Deidara with Gaara. At the end of the fight, all of them were tired. Deidara saw this and tried to take them down with him using his C0 bomb. Naruto had activated Sage Mode. He'd learned this while he was on Mount Myoboku, to gather more chakra to use the Flying Thunder God. When Naruto had activated Sage Mode, he discovered Sasori outside the village. The last words Deidara shouted were, "Die!" As the C0 went off, Naruto used Guiding Thunder to teleport the bomb right on top of Sasori, and then teleport both Sasori and the explosion really high into the sky. The people of Suna looked up to find the sky as bright as day for a few seconds, as the explosion went off. They had then ensured that the rest of the village was safe, and Naruto, along with the rest of the Konoha 12, had returned to Konoha. A few weeks later, Five Kage Summit. Gaara had called this summit because he had been attacked, and he was trying to let the rest of the world know about the threat the Akatsuki posed to their Jinchuriki. Every Kage from all the 5 nations, and a representative from Takigakure was also there. The 5 Kage Summit was held in the Land of Iron. The summit meeting was surrounded by nothing for miles. At present time, Shikamaru was standing behind Tsunade on her right. Sasuke was standing behind her on her left, and Naruto was standing in the shadows directly behind her. Inoki's guards were the same as in the original, except Han and Roshi were also there too, but also hidden in the shadows. Gaara's guards were the same as in canon, and Mei's guards were the same, except a new person named Kiro was there, and Utakata was also there. He'd been Isobu's Jinchuriki for 2 months after the defeat of Chakra. Utakata had been convinced to return by Saiken. Flashback. Naruto and Kurama had grown quite close over the few years that Naruto had been training, mainly because Naruto had proven that he wasn't a typical two-leg that thought violence brought power, as Kurama had put it. As soon as Naruto had defeated his own hatred, Naruto had gotten the key from Garatora and opened the cage. When the cage had opened, Naruto had taken all of Kurama's hatred out of him. The mass of hatred turned into identical Kurama with darker fur. Naruto then used Takano Jutsu on the mass of hatred, turning into the embodiment of the will of fire and the yin half of Kurama. The two Kuramas had then merged, making Kurama grow in size until he was the size he was when he attacked the village. Kurama then pulled Naruto into the nine-tailed beast dimension to talk with the others. They had all then convinced the 5 Kage and the leader of Takagakure to accept the Kage summit. Flashback end. Tsunade was telling the other Kage about the need to protect the Jinchuriki from the Akatsuki. The Raikage reacted angrily, slamming his fist on the table at the thought of B being taken from him. Immediately, all the Kage's visible guards appeared at their sides, weapons at the ready. The Jinchuriki, except Gaara, appeared on the table in front of their Kage. Naruto appeared with 2 flying thunder gods, kunai in his hands in a reverse grip. Inoki and his granddaughter's expression tightened. Everybody looked at Naruto. When they had calmed back down and went to their normal positions, Ei asked who Naruto was, and Tsunade responded, "That is Naruto, the Kyuubi's Jinchuriki." She said, "Also, some of you might recognize him because he's the son of the 4th Hokage." When the people from Iwa heard this, that Naruto was Minato's son, their expressions had hardened, remembering the loss of thousands shinobi they had sent against him. But Tsunade continued, and Kushina Uzumaki. This time, the people from Kumo's expressions hardened. Kushina had left a trail of dead Kumo shinobi in her wake during the war. When they started to talk about what was going to happen to the Jinchuriki, everyone heard an explosion out. They all went outside and found the Akatsuki waiting for them. Obito had then used Edo Tensei from a scroll he had managed to retrieve from Orochimaru's bases before all of them were destroyed. He summoned Deidara, Sasori, the 7 Swordsmen, and a few others, and Madara Uchiha. Pain had then used Almighty Push to move everyone except the Jinchuriki away, and they created a barrier around them. While the rest of the Kages and their guards were fighting Madara, the 7 Swordsmen, and a few other deceased shinobi, the Jinchuriki were fighting the Akatsuki in their version 2 cloaks. Side note, in this what if, Naruto doesn't have KCM, instead he has all the abilities he got from KCM in his version cloak, so when he gets to like 9 tails, but Naruto still doesn't turn to Kurama when he's getting tails. Instead, it's kind of like B. You know how like B can turn, like has all 8 tails, but he doesn't actually turn into Yuki unless he wants to. Anyway, back to the story. But they were still losing. So Naruto through Kurama sent a message to all the tailed beasts. All the Jinchuriki had spread out and transformed into their tailed beasts. They started battling this form, and Isobu was able to use Genjutsu on Obito for 3 seconds before Obito could break out. Isobu forced Obito to release the Edo Tensei. Things were looking good until Pain summoned the 10 Tails Husk. And then the ethereal dragons were useless unless the tailed beast could not move, so he just used it to battle alongside him, along with the passive Pain. The fate of the battle then tipped back towards the Akatsuki again. Itachi was quickly killed by Kurama, but it still didn't look like they were going to win. Naruto then broadcasted his thoughts again to all the tailed beasts. All the tailed beasts disappeared in a huge puff of smoke. When the smoke cleared, all the tailed beasts were gone. In their place was the 10 tails. So this is what Father meant when he said someone will show us what true power is, Gyuki said, being one of the smarter tailed beasts. Well, you can thank me and Naruto for our crafty idea later, Kurama said, being the most crafty tailed beast. Wow, Kurama's changed since he met Naruto, while the rest of the tailed beasts thought. I can hear your thoughts, Kurama said angrily. The rest of the battle was a wash. The 10-tailed statue was completely destroyed, and the 5 of the passive Pain were destroyed. The last one said to the Jinchuriki, "Please achieve peace," before Nagato died from chakra exhaustion, resulting in the last path of pain being destroyed, along with the barrier. One huge tailed beast bomb later, and Konan Nagato, along with his Rinnegan, were destroyed. Isame died next, and the rest of the Akatsuki died one after the other, with Obito being the last to survive. Then, the nine-tailed beast dropped, the nine-tailed beast merged, formed, and collapsed back into the Jinchuriki. 1 month later, all the Jinchuriki awoke from their comas. Naruto was getting out of bed, the bed he was in. He looked up and saw a white ceiling. He then saw something flash next to his bed. Before he reached the door, Tsunade opened it and came in. "Well, you're awake," she said, trying to push Naruto back into the hospital bed. "Why wouldn't I be?" Naruto said with a confused expression. "Because you've been in a coma for the last month, and now I need to take a couple of tests on how you're doing, so sit back down," Tsunade said. Tsunade took her test and then contacted the Konoha 12 that Naruto was out of the coma. They all came and talked for a couple of hours. Only Hinata stayed. "You know, Naruto-kun, I think Father took some inspiration from you." "How's that?" Naruto asked. "Well, you know Konohamaru?" she said. "It turns out he's been nagging Hanabi to go out with him. Somehow him making a lot of mistakes and never giving up endeared her to him." Naruto stared at Hanabi wide-eyed. In all the time he'd known her, she'd never lied. But to think that Hanabi somehow liked Konohamaru was almost unfathomable. "Although he will have to add Hyuga to his name," she continued, "when they get married via political marriage." Naruto just smiled. After Naruto was recovered, he was called to the Hokage's office in front of the council and was announced Tsunade's successor. When he turned 18, after he married Hinata, he would become the Rokudame Hokage. Hiyashi stopped as Naruto was leaving. "My first daughter is married to the son of a Hokage and soon to be Hokage. My second is going to be married to the grandson of a Hokage, and if Konohamaru's dream is as strong as Naruto's, then she will be married to a Hokage. All this because I decided to be nice to my daughters and let them be themselves." Hiyashi thought, Screw what the family council thinks. Everyone, main branch or family, is getting the migrating bird seal, and all the caged bird seals will be removed and replaced with a migrating bird seal." Bonus scene. It was 5 o'clock, and the Rokudame Hokage was about to leave. He usually left at 6, but to anybody who was in the room would wonder why there was 3 chairs behind his desk. Naruto stood up and created 3 shadow clones that all sat down and started doing the paperwork. Naruto then headed towards the Uzumaki compound. On his way there, he headed into a large shop. There was a couple of workers behind the main counter, but Naruto walked up to a counter on the side that read VIP. An old man and a woman who looked slightly older than Naruto were behind the counter. "Hey Naruto," the man said. "Hey old man, do you have my order ready?" Naruto asked. "Yep. I see your youngest two have inherited your love for ramen," Teuchi said. "It would seem so," Naruto said, paying for his huge order of ramen and walking back home. When he finally got to the Uzumaki compound, after about 10 minutes of walking, Naruto went inside. The compound was reasonably sized, though it only had a couple of houses in it, although most of them were empty except the one Naruto's family had lived in. But as the Uzumaki clan returned, more houses would be built. He walked up to his house and gave Hinata a kiss on the cheek, and then started preparing the food. After about half an hour, Berto and the twins, Himawari and Neji, walked into the house. "Hey Dad," the twins said in unison. They tended to do this a lot when they were excited without thinking about it. Everybody sat down and started eating. Naruto noticed Boruto eating a lot more ramen than he usually would. He liked ramen, but not to this degree. After they finished dinner, they played some board games, and during one of these games, the twins were focusing so hard on the board that they accidentally forced chakra to their eyes. Their lavender-colored pupils expanded, turning their entire eyes white into a lavender color, exactly like their mother's. Naruto and Hinata each quickly shared a quick glance before they all went outside to see what the twins' Byakugans could do. After about 15 minutes, the twins collapsed extremely tired from overusing the Byakugan. Hinata then took them both upstairs to their beds, while Boruto started walking off, before Naruto said, "Boruto, you've been acting pretty down lately. What's the matter?" Boruto stopped, but didn't turn around. You know why I was eating so much ramen earlier? It was to get your attention. But now that the twins have unlocked their Byakugan, you probably won't have any time for me, Boruto said, finally turning around to see his father smiling. On the contrary, Boruto, because the twins have unlocked their Byakugan, they will be trained mostly by your mother to use her fighting style. You, on the other hand, don't have the Byakugan, so if you would like, I can teach you to use my style. Yes, please, Boruto said, his eyes widening. Then follow me, Naruto said as he went to Boruto's room. Now bite your thumb and press it against the wall, Naruto explained. Berto did as he was told, and a doorway appeared. The two went down the steps and came out into a huge training room. This room is accessible in all areas of the house, as long as there is a wall. Naruto then summoned a large scroll and handed it to Berto. This scroll contains how to use the Flying Thunder God, and what problems you might encounter with it. It was a signature move of me and my father. Berto reached out for the scroll, and with that, they started training.